Good morning, everyone. Welcome to DevPulseCon 2020, our first virtual conference. We are honored to host attendees from around the world this year. So I would like to personally welcome those of you who do not speak English as your primary language. So here goes. Please forgive me if I mispronounce things. Namaste, India. Assalamu alaikum to the Middle East, India, Singapore, and Malaysia. Welkom, Netherlands. Shalom, Israel. Halona karibu, Africa. Herzlich willkommen, Germany. Ni hao, China. Hola y buenos días, Mexico. And welcome to the United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand. And last but not the least, to my fellow North Americans from the USA and Canada, a very hearty and warm welcome. This is a very strange year, as you all know. We had to postpone our conference from the usual April timeline to October due to COVID. It has given us the time and the resources to bring together a fantastic lineup of keynote speakers, workshops on technical and product management topics, as well as panels on being the sole income earner and finding a path from engineering to product management. And to keep everyone from burning out from all the Zoom sessions and online meetings, we have streamlined 2-hour morning and afternoon sessions. All timings for our sessions for DevPulseCon are Pacific time. I wanted to take this opportunity to mention ThriveWise programs we provide to companies as separate, standalone programs. We have our innovative Ally training for engineers and PMs, as well as our groundbreaking Safe Space program, which we are currently piloting at a prestigious Silicon Valley tech company in 2020 and 2021. Both of these new programs are in line with our mission to help improve workplace environments so that technical women can thrive in the workplace. So please do take a look at our programs on our website, thrive-wise.org. That is thrive-wise.org. And once again, welcome to DevPulseCon. Today we have Aanan Contractor who is going to start off our keynote sessions. Aanan has 19 plus years of technical expertise in the retail and financial space, as well as a strong leadership track record. Currently, she leads the customer experience engineering team at Walmart US, and she is focused on delivering seamless and delightful experiences for hundreds of millions of customers. Prior to joining Walmart in 2018, Aanan led end-to-end customer experience engineering at American Express, where she championed cultural, talent, and technology transformation. Aanan is passionate about leadership, diversity, and especially supporting women in tech. She has been a sponsor of the Women Employee Networks at work and enjoys sharing her story to inspire other women tech leaders. Aanan was named a 2018 Woman of Influence by the Silicon Valley Business Journal. Please welcome Aanan Contractor. Welcome, Aanan. Go ahead with your talk.
Thank you so much, Rupa. Hello, DevPulseCon. I hear we have many of you tuning in from around the world today. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you joining from different corners of the world. Rupa just mentioned, there people are wondering if Contractor is really my last name. And I want to get that out the door first. Yes, it is my last name. It's very unique last name, and it gives me a unique edge all the time. Thank you, Rupa and ThriveWise, for inviting me today. This is my first DevPulseCon, and I'm already inspired by such a beautiful mission to support and retain women engineers and technologists like you and I, so we can thrive and excel in our careers. Every day, we wake up to multiple priorities, challenges, responsibilities, and burdens. I do too. It's a gloomy day out here in California, in Bay Area today. But my life is a perfect juggling act at the moment that probably many of you are also playing. And it's so much amplified in the pandemic situation. In the middle of that morning, I do not forget the dreams that I woke up from. It's possible to do it all. It is possible to keep the eyes on the stars while feet on the ground. And my goal today is to make us all dream big while staying grounded to realities of our life. Today, I'm here to tell you a story about a dream that a mother saw for her daughter. It's a dream my mother, you see my mom and my picture from the childhood here, that my mother saw for myself. And now I see one every day for my little daughter, Ruhi. You see her in the picture too here. A dream for every little courageous girl, like one standing tall on my shoulder today. See the courageous girl right here. I was born in western part of India, in state of Gujarat, to an engineer dad and microbiologist mom. Growing up, I always looked up to my mom as a role model for breaking through with having a career of her own, juggling with home and work. She gave me values of independence, self-sufficiency, and organization. She also made me a lifelong learner from those little newspaper clips she used to post at my study table with highlights of important messages to inspirational reading I get from her on WhatsApp to date. Last week, she celebrated her 20 years anniversary at JP Morgan Chase. She came to US at a very later age and showed me how to adopt the drastic change and keep going. Growing up, I get to go on various camping and trekking trips every summer. I vividly remember our Himalayan trekking trip. You see on the top left corner, it's a picture of a Brigu peak. It's in Himalayas. I remember our Himalayan trekking trip where on the way to that Brigu peak, some of us got left behind. And how I was able to take control of situation, keep everyone around me calm, and strategize the reunion back with the group on that snow-covered mountain. It was a risky venture, but being able to run my own course from teenage age gave me tremendous confidence, ability to test my leadership skills in challenging situations. My role today puts me in many challenging situations like this. Leading the war room during critical situation requires being calm, collected, and in control. And I have mastered that with such experiences through my life from a very early age. Suresh Kumar, our CTO, has a very simple principle that helps navigate risk. He always encourages us to know how big the blast radius is for our big bets. When there is clarity of data, purpose, and well understood blast radius, it makes it easier to take a risk. This year, I have applied this in making some really big and bold decisions with my Walmart's experience tier architecture. We are redoing that, and taking risk is really helping me make the decisions. My ask for all of you is encourage little girls to climb tough courses in the playground. And they can grow up to take any challenge in their life. Let them explore world on their own. Let's create courageous girl. Just one, like one on my shoulder today. You would ask if I always wanted to be an engineer and in technology. Was it always chosen path for me? I was always good at math and logic. I took summer classes to learn languages like Basic. Don't laugh. I know it's not something we do today, but it was hot and happening then, and that was the first language, programming language I learned. But when time came to choose between engineering and something new, I chose to go for the education that gave me training in combination of management and computer application. When I came to US, I realized that computer engineering is my true calling, and I ended up catching up on all I missed in my undergrads to pursue it. You can chase your dreams anyway. Just keep looking for your path. Do not stop till you have found your way. Someone asked me, how will you know that you have found it? Your passion, your happiness, your energy to keep going will tell you that this is it. In 2002, when I moved to San Francisco Bay Area, internet bubble was burst. So many had lost jobs. I loved my job at Quest Communications. I had opportunity to learn at Ohio State and apply it right away at Quest, creating their digital billing portal. When I moved to California to be with my husband, I asked if I can work from home from California for a Midwest company. It was unprecedented to have a junior engineer work remotely at that time. But I asked anyways and got tremendous support from my leaders. They trusted my potential and placed bet on me. I learned another valuable lesson in my life. Always ask. Do not assume. Worst case, you'll get no as an answer, but there's always room for asking. I moved to Bay Area and graduated from Santa Clara University, doing master's in engineering management while creating some amazing digital portal experiences for Quest. In 2004, I graduated. Same year, I got opportunity to be part of PayPal's journey of redefining payments. I spent next 11 years at PayPal. I had amazing time learning and growing with PayPal. There, I founded my first grassroots organization to help women engineers of PayPal grow. I learned to read market trends and career transitions to grow with it. PayPal grew globally. PayPal grew in various merchant segments. PayPal grew in mobile. So I got to grow mobile commerce, micropayments with PayPal here, and PayPal for marketplaces. I also learned valuable lesson to not be afraid of letting go. I ended up decentralizing 2 of the orgs that I grew first. But both the times when I decentralized those, I ended up with bigger and better opportunity to lead something new. So when time is right, let go in interest of your customers, your business, and also your teams. And that creates a truly win-win situation. Writing software teaches you some truly deep lessons to navigate the unknown and solve problems. Because when we write software, we are problem solving. These are some simple rules that builds your muscle for taking risk. When you write code, you start small, then you extend your function. Who I am today is a result of many of those extensions. And I have been applying my software development skills to my career development equally. When I code, I change one thing at a time. So I control what I have changed, and then I can test it appropriately. I do same when approaching my career, one variable at a time. But we all live in this era of multivariant testing today, and you can change multiple things at a time. Make sure that you have instrumented it so that you know that, cleanly and read results of all the variables that you're applying in your life and in your career, so you can learn from it and grow with that. And then remember, there will always be bugs. You just need to get better at debugging. I remember that evening, my first debugging session at Quest. It was really late and I was struggling, clearly struggling. My manager was leaving and he saw me struggling, and he showed me my first lesson of how to effectively apply the breakpoints while debugging. In our life, we'll experience same. We just need to get good at applying those breakpoints, understanding what has caused the bug. If it is failure, learn from it and rise back again right away to champion what's ahead of us. Next chapter in my life was at American Express. American Express was a true test of my ability to navigate a brand new challenge within new culture. Building trust required face time and lots of travel. I had very young kids. Ruhi, that you saw in the picture at the time, was 2 years old, and my husband had just been co-founding a new startup. So we learned that 50-50 is the way to go. And I truly believe in this. I think the society will change only when families adopt 50-50 responsibilities. Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, "Women will have achieved true equality when men share with them the responsibility of bringing up the next generation." I'm grateful to have a partner who lives the values of equality and is proud to be the man behind my success, and I am the woman behind his. In equality, there's always give and take, ability to communicate freely, talk it out, and brainstorm solutions creatively. When time came, I made a tough choice to keep family priority first and leave traveling role with Amex, and chose to lead Walmart's growing e-commerce charter close to home and kids. I have never regretted this choice, always celebrated this move and every move in my career. Working at Walmart has made it very fulfilling choice for me today. So this is my favorite part. You can see me dancing. While conquering these tough problems, it is important to keep your inner self alive. And the way I keep my inner self alive is via medium of dance. You can see just by seeing this and talking about dance lights me up. My energy comes from dancing my heart out. Dance is my creativity, my stress buster, my strength, my health, my expression to connect with my audience, my expression to connect with all of you today. I have learned to have fun, even in time of crisis, via medium of music and dance. So the yellow costume picture that you see, it is from winter of 2000. Columbus State invited me to present classical Kuchipudi dance. It's an Indian classical dance form at New Year's Eve program. The show was going really well. And just when it goes really well, something happens. Right? So in the middle of the dance, the music completely cuts off. So imagine me dancing and pin drop silence, for a moment in the backdrop. This is like being paged for major outage, right? For something at work. You need to keep cool. Remember, keep cool, take charge. And the first thing that comes to your mind is think about the quickest recovery in that situation. The music cuts off, this pin drop silence. Audience is also confused what happened, in that moment, but the show must go on. So I started narrating the story of the dance myself. Take charge of singing, and I'm not a singer, so I cannot sing like how the music was playing, but it was a narration and singing combination. And I finishing the dance, narrative, ending up with standing ovation from my audience. Risky move, but it paid off and making me the star of that evening. These type of situations are going to happen in life, in career. It prepares you to be prepared for the future, to take bigger and bolder charter and grow your career and meet your dreams. So that risky move that paid off, that evening, we apply the dancing rule at Walmart. Now we dance as a team at Walmart. You see, this is my team dancing, at one of the summer event at Walmart. Here's it's a grooving, customer engineering team, is what I say. We love to work hard and dance our hearts out. Dance unites us across global locations. It's a common language that we speak in form of music and dance. So fight hard for your dreams, but do that while having fun, having lots of fun. As I finish telling you my story this morning, I wanted to use this moment to encourage you, to embolden you, and to literally push you to rising of your life and career. Thank you so much for taking this step towards self-learning by coming to the conference today, and inspiration by being here. I wish you enriching conference experience for rest of the day and rest of the week. Rupa and team are doing an amazing job in bringing the sessions that will truly enrich and inspire. And then I wish you the life full of inspiration to do whatever you can with whatever talent you have to move the world of technology for our generations to come. And as always, Rupa said, and I told her that, I have to finish my talk saying that may the code be with you. Thank you. Rupa will open up for the questions.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aanan. This was awesome. So we have some questions that are showing up on Slido. Until then, I have a question for you. What is your top recommendation for technical women who want to reach a VP level in leadership, just like you have?
Yeah, whether it's a VP or whatever your dreams are, right? Whatever you want to pursue in your life. I always say that, as a technical woman, go for reaching the full potential of what's within you, whatever your dreams are. Don't let the glass ceiling, really stop you from going as far as you want. So I'm here today, playing a role as a vice president and leading a technology organization. You can go beyond that. You can choose to do something very different. The path from your dreams to success does exist in the field of technology and engineering, right? Focus on building the abilities first, right? So depth and the choice of your tech stack is very important, right? That's the table stake that you have to kind of, go for first. Make sure that you are agile enough to adapt, learn, and change constantly, with the evolving and changing technologies. Technology changes every day. If you had kind of, very strong foundation, then it's easy for you to keep up with what's changing, out there in the world. So agility on top of ability is equally important in terms of, getting where you want to go. The last thing, we shouldn't be shy about talking about our ambitions. The theme of my talk today is all about dreams and ambitions and talking about it, being courageous about, that and not shying away. I learned that lesson very early on in my life, that if you don't ask for it, you don't get it, right? So whatever your ambition is, talk about it, get out there, in whenever you're having coffee with someone, or whenever kind of, you are talking in public like this, don't shy away from stating where you want to go, how far, you want to go. And, it will help you get there, because people will see that there is ambition. So there are 3 A's that I always talk about, which I captured. You need to have ability, you need to be agile, and you need to have ambition that you talk about. It's not enough, many times we say that, we'll do our work and our work will speak alone. That's necessary first step, but not the last step, right? So never, ever shy away. So my specific recommendation now, as you start going, to the executive levels, is to build 4 more skills on top of, the technical skills that are table stakes that I just talked about. The first one is strategic awareness. You need to know, where the world is moving, right? If you see from my career what I talked about, when the mobile was happening, it just led me to go towards, mobile commerce. So read the trends, strategic trends, and be aware, so that, you can apply that, towards moving, towards that. Second thing, being an engineer, we need to have business understanding. Don't limit yourself, in terms of having really good knowledge of how to write, really well-crafted software, but go beyond that. Make sure that you have business understanding. The third skill, which we always talk about, is influencing skills. You need to have, within your core, what is the right thing to do. But if you cannot sell it, especially in the world that we live, it's a collaborative world. There is a cross-corp collaboration. There is, within the team, collaboration. If you start your own business, you will need to collaborate, with the partners and the ecosystem. So how to influence your ecosystem is an essential skill. The last but not least is leadership skill. You really need to be able to lead through, all the 3 things that I mentioned over here. So that's that's how I would summarize that. If you want to kind of go for it, but remember these simple rules.
That's excellent advice. I certainly can relate to starting your own business and having to ramp up very quickly on all 4. Because without all 4, you cannot achieve the things that you need to achieve. So I completely relate to it. So we have a question from the audience. What tips do you have for each of us to support each other, especially coming from like women supporting other women? Because there are some women who might not be as supportive. So what recommendations would you have?
That's really, so there is this story about frogs in the well, right? And when the heat grows up, there are a few frogs who are jumping to get out of that well. But other frogs who have lived in the well for long, they try to pull their legs and say, hey, don't go there, you're not supposed to kind of jump out, right? Many times I have seen that this happens in a world where we feel, and it's not correct, that the opportunities are limited for women, so let's just compete. Instead of competing with one another, we really have to form this ladder for the first frog to get out of this, and really become a tight support, for everyone. And the very simple things that I have seen work very well is whenever you are in a forums with other, women colleagues, help them, right? Because you are the observer. You are seeing them, in the action. You can really inspire, the action within that meeting by supporting them, supporting the points, and reciprocation, you will get the, same thing, right? So you can make a bigger influence staying together in the forums like that, right? Or you can observe them and give them valuable feedback. I always say that, feedback is the biggest gift one can receive, right? So you can kind of, do that. You can become the advocate of the other, female colleagues that you have. And I think, to get standing together, holding hands, we all will be able to kind of, really champion 50-50 that, I talked about. And Rupa, kudos to you for starting ThriveWise, and this conference. That's really a great example of women supporting women, right? And thank you for making that happen.
Well, it wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for support from, all our sponsored companies and people like you. So, I've been running it for 11 years now, and I quit my job, as you know, from Walmart to do this full time. So thank you. And I think we have time for one more question, and I wanted to piggyback on what you said just now about feedback. Typically, especially on the technical ladder, since I was on the technical ladder forever, 25 years, we typically don't handle feedback particularly well. So I was going to ask you, can you give us some tips on how to handle negative feedback, because it's not a pleasant thing to receive. It's very hard to give to someone else, and there are some ways to do it that are more effective and more impactful, and there are ways to do it that are quite terrible, actually. So I was going to ask you, can you talk a little bit about that to let our audience know, if you're being given negative feedback or something you need to improve on, first of all, don't get defensive. All feedback is good, just like you said. So can you please talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a very important topic. And look, it's a human nature, right? That we like to hear the positive feedback and positive reinforcement. And it hurts to kind of, receive a negative, feedback. Same thing to remember, empathetically, that when you are giving feedback, to your point, same things are going to apply on the other end. So I think, as I mentioned, if we think that feedback is the biggest gift we can give to someone or receive from someone, then it requires the open growth mindset. So I think, the first, condition of feedback is a growth mindset. If you have, growth mindset, you're going to take every bit of the feedback, you're going to soak it in, not from the point of view of the criticism, but you're going to analyze that. You don't have to take every feedback also, okay? Otherwise you will go really, really crazy if you started acting on every single feedback that comes your way, So that's not what I mean here at all. The first thing is, understand the why behind the feedback. As I mentioned in my talk, data and purpose are very important, so what is the purpose, behind it? What does data say? Have you done the 360? Is it a repeating theme that you are seeing, from various different, examples? And if so, why is that? It requires that retrospective. We do retrospectives, for making our software better. I think, this is our version of our career and software. So that retrospective as a next step, of analyzing that data. And then again, as I mentioned, women helping women, pick a buddy, right, who sees you in various forums and can kind of, remind you. Some of my reminders are also, the rubber band that I wear on my hand. I carry a couple of reminders, in a symbol like that, to remind me, throughout the day in terms of the things that I'm working on. So that's the way, I would suggest, approaching the feedback.
That's an awesome way to carry feedback. And on the rest, I need to do this. Awesome. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you here with us today. And thank you so much for your inspiring keynote. And I think we are good to go on time, so we can queue up for the next keynote. Thank you so much, Aanan.
Great. Thank you so much, Rupa, and all the best to all of you. Thank you for having me.
Bye.